Hey everybody, Kier here coming to you live this Thursday. It's about 2:30 Eastern Time from New York City on April 11th. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of designing, developing, and implementing a really robust and successful listing marketing plan so that you as an agent can position yourself in your marketplace as the go-to sophisticated agent, attract more listing appointments, create more appointments, take more listings, and really be set up for success as we head into the spring market. So this is something that my team and I just got together on Monday and developed for our own real estate practice. And it consisted of several different components and steps that I just wanted to go over and share with you that I thought could be helpful as you start to think about other ways that you can get in front of potential homeowners and sellers that are considering possibly selling this year in 2019 as we really go into Q2, into April, as the weather breaks and people really start to get serious. So one of the first things that I like to do when I set out to create a really strong marketing campaign is understand and define what it is we're trying to accomplish, right? So in this case, we're trying to grow our listing portfolio, our listing inventory. So we're going to need to develop messaging, creative, and compelling calls to action that speak to homeowners and their pain points, what they're going through right now. What are they most interested in, right? What is that first point of contact or value that we can give as agents to really set ourselves apart from all the other noise and competition and create an action, right? Prompt and influence somebody, a homeowner in this case, to take an action and reach out. So for us, one of the best and most tried and true ways to do this is to offer a free, hey Peter, how are you? Instead of just hopping on, but the best way to do this is to offer a free home valuation. What we found is doing this in various outlets and channels we're going to talk about, particularly in print, targeted paid digital media, and Facebook and Instagram, and also in an email campaign with a branded landing page that does just this. It's all set up with one goal in mind: to capture the contact info, right? To capture the lead by giving them an automated valuation. Now, the trick to this is it's just that it's an automated valuation, right? It's a collection usually of 2 or 3 different algorithms and valuation methods, but there's nuance to it, right? There's qualitative components to understanding value. You really have a tough time dialing in the value of a property without actually going there, without actually seeing it and feeling it, understanding how it sits next to its neighbors, the fit and finish level, right? The condition of the home, how it's been maintained, the history of it. All of those things, as well as the motivation level of a seller, go into properly understanding the value of a property at a certain point in time. So what these landing pages do is do just that. They create value by offering a free report, but it's just the first step. So what we do is, and we're going to go over this in some of the training modules as well as we design these ads, after that, after we provide them with the free valuation, all they have to do is give us their contact info to get that. It then goes on to ask, this is in the messaging below, if you'd like a more accurate, full property valuation, list price recommendation, and marketing plan, which is free and no obligation, please reach out to our team today. We would love to come out and give you this, again, no obligation, so that you can really be armed with the right information, the right data, and the right counsel to make an informed decision, right, on whether or not this year is a good year and this is a good season to be selling your home. So that's kind of how the mechanics of that work. The messaging is important too, in terms of what we use as a hook, right, and how we write the ad so it's effective, so that we get a click-through from an ad that they see and they're scrolling on Facebook and they only have a couple seconds to decide if they want to scroll on or actually click, in email as well or in print. And that is, we want to talk about things that can create a sense of urgency and scarcity, right? A sense of, wow, maybe I do need to know this so that I don't miss out. People never like missing out, right? So in that sense, when we're talking about these seller ads, we want to talk about the fact that we're still in a strong seller's market, right? That we still have limited inventory, supply restricted markets in many of the areas that our members and sophisticated agent students operate out of. We want to talk about the fact that home prices continue to go up. The fact that interest rates now are not actually rising, but the Fed has kind of backed off, right? That's an important thing. All of those factors go into the mindset of a seller that say, oh wow, you know what? Maybe my home is worth more than I thought it was. Maybe I should get an updated valuation. Maybe I shouldn't just place all my reliance in what Zillow says this estimate of my home is actually worth. So all those things are important, right, as we decide on the copy and how we write the ad and the headline to get attention. right? So the other things that we want to do, and the other part of our marketing plan that we do to create more listing appointments is this. That ad, when you develop that copy, the right imagery and the right headline, that goes on to the Facebook ad, that goes on to the, hey Peter, how are you? That goes on to our email campaign on our branded template, right? That goes to our entire database, because we don't know if a friend or a family member or a past buyer or a colleague or a professional wants to know the value of their home. Many people are most interested in what the value of their largest asset actually is right in today's market. So we don't have to just send this email campaign to sellers, right? We're going to send it to everybody. The other nice thing to do is when you do targeted print ads in newspapers, magazines, circulars, or other things that your market, your farm actually reads, that you find out they actually read. For us, we do a lot of vacation markets. So we do small local newspapers that go out once a week. We run a 4x4, sometimes a half-page color ad. And throughout the spring weeks, starting in mid-April, all the way really through June, July, sometimes even longer, we'll run a weekly ad that's branded to our team, that's designed to build listing appointments and inbound leads from sellers. So we're speaking, again, like I just mentioned, to the pain points of sellers, right? So in this case, we would do a headline something like, just for example, did you know we're still in a very strong seller's market with more buyers looking and rising home values? Question mark, right? Or something like, are you aware that the value of many properties has recently gone up as a result of certain market conditions? Question mark. Or something a little bit more concise, right, and hard-hitting. Those are headlines that grab attention. Then we want to follow up with a line that supports, right, and provides credibility to our authority, right, as agents in the marketplace. So for us, for instance, we'll use the tagline, the number one team at our company last year in closed sales, which was a great award that we got. I'm super proud of in my team. And that provides credibility that we actually know what we're doing, and we can provide accurate information and analyses to actually give somebody a home valuation report and a marketing proposal. So again, to back up here to a higher level, I got just in the weeds there for a second. We take this home valuation campaign and we design it, we set it, and we lock it and get it ready for different distribution channels. The most important being Facebook and Instagram on Ad Manager. We'll go over how to do that. Email campaign, and also targeted print. Hey Jason, how are you, bud? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. We're talking about developing a really strong listing attraction plan, marketing plan going into the spring here as we're in Q2. I know everybody's looking to get more inventory, always wants to grow their listing portfolio. So we're focused on that as we're going to have some training and part of the course releasing soon here just on that. So this week, again, we're talking about the value of home value campaigns to sellers, because the one thing that you can do to get sellers' attention is talk about the possibility that, hey Christian, how are you? The possibility that the value of their home has actually gone up, right? Because it's usually one of, if not the largest financial asset of most people, right? So they're usually very in tune and concerned with what its actual worth is in the current market. And as we know, as any asset does, it fluctuates in value based on supply and demand. So we develop these ads, we set them, and we distribute and disseminate them in print, targeted paid media on social, and to our email list and to our COI. That already right now is getting us leads. Another great provider that I would recommend that's great at hosting landing pages and running and managing your entire lead campaign and social media, guys, is a company called Kingston Lane, run by a good friend of mine. His name is Sharon Trabatza. He sold his brokerage in Los Angeles to Douglas Elliman last year. He's a really, really successful, very sharp entrepreneur. Highly recommend taking a look at his website and his value proposition. It's called Kingston Lane, KINGSTON space Lane. So we just started doing seller lead ads, like I just talked about, on Facebook with them, and we've already gotten 4 or 5 leads, guys, and the ad's been running for less than a day. They integrate with your CRM, so they go right into your CRM. You can follow up by email or call. And again, these are great ways to get in front of and have more conversations with sellers. So that was one part of our plan. The other part of our plan was sending out targeted direct mail to our farms. How we develop lists is important, right? So we want to identify what neighborhoods and markets we want to farm and go after. And that should be based on the criteria that we're looking to prospect, right? So price point, location, type of products and property that we have expertise and knowledge in, and maybe an area where we've had some sales that we can leverage for credibility. So for us, we have many lake communities, second home markets that we've developed a list for the waterfront properties around the lakes, anything from $400,000 or $500,000 assessed value and up. There's a couple list services that you can buy this information from and just literally develop an Excel or CSV file based on certain criteria. One company which is great, which is called, let me remember, List Build, I believe, or List America, LIST America. I'll put that in the notes as well. Great company. You can very cheaply, for pennies for a record, develop really great farming lists based on criteria for property value, location, size, etc. The other good thing I would say is there's a company called SmartZip you might have heard of. We've worked with them for a little bit. They're kind of predictive big data analytics firm that really helps you understand what portion of the market is actually likely or has a higher propensity to sell in any given year. Meaning we could just send a direct mail piece to the entire list, right, of all properties over 500,000 in a certain zip code, but that's not the most cost-effective way, right? It's going to fall on a lot of deaf ears, people that aren't really concerned with, selling or even thinking about selling. SmartZip, you can run that list that you purchased for not a lot. I mean, we're talking less than $100 for thousands of, addresses and contacts. Run it through SmartZip, right, on their dashboard, and they'll produce a list of the top 20% based on a lot of triangulation with other big data firms and companies on what are the most likely contacts or homeowners likely to sell this year. Now, nothing's guaranteed, right? This is based on a number of different criteria, such as how long they've owned the home, what is their average income, what type of job are they in, have they transferred homes and residences often before over the last 15 or 20 years. There's all these things that go into their algorithm that suggest and try to predict the most likely people to sell. So what it does is it allows you to take that 2,000 people, right, shrink it down to the most likely 20% or the most likely 400 people out of 2,000 to sell, and you then develop your mailing list based on those, right? So you're only mailing to the most likely people. What that does, it drops your ad cost down considerably by, 4 or 5-fold, and allows you to be more targeted in your messaging and in your audience. So another good tip there. What else are we doing? We're going to be doing another event. We work with a company that I highly recommend, guys, called Rockstar Connect. Check them out on their website. They're a really, really cool event company, all event management. They organize, they find, they get venue fees waived, light apps included. They do all of the event RSVP on Eventbrite, Meetup, Facebook, social media, and your website. We had, guys, for our first event, over 50 people come. I didn't do any of the marketing. They handled it all. I just showed up, worked the room, and we got a couple leads for clients from it, from a 2-hour engagement at a hotel where everything was covered, cash bar, people paid, and we had people show up from all different walks and professions. So this is another great source that we're going to talk about in one of our training modules coming up in week 3, I believe, on the importance of working and leveraging your network, building your network in a cost-effective way that can add value. You can do events with themes, topics, different subject matters, right? Or just literally a mixer and a meet and greet, and just know how to work the room in a targeted way. But know that you're not an event planner. I'm not an event planner. I don't know the first thing about that, nor do I want to. I want to just get in a room with a bunch of new people and make relationships. So another great tip there. What else on our seller listing marketing plan are we doing? We're also distributing in a hand-delivered way, old school way, with the help of some of our interns. Another great way to leverage, great talent and people coming up is to work with local interns in colleges that want to work for free, get exposure, experience, and something for the resume. Highly recommend that. So we are having them help us distribute our property brochures. We have property magazines called Select, where we have most of our inventory, our portfolio. We drop it at major businesses, tourism centers. Obviously, they go to our offices, resorts, hotels, places of high foot traffic with people that are visiting the area as well. So that's something that we're going to do and kind of blanket the market with. And what else? The other thing, those were all marketing heavy tactics. One other thing we're going to do to really support our marketing plan going into the spring to build our listing inventory, because remember, when you own and control the listings, you control the market, which produces the buyers, which allows you to manage your commission income, have more visibility and confidence on when things are selling and coming based on average days on market, etc. The other thing we're doing, supporting that all with prospecting, right? So some people don't love smiling and dialing, don't love calling expireds, for sale by owners, home value leads. But you know what? It's a big part of this business. It's not everything, but it's a part of this business. So we also support and train our students and people in Sophisticated Agent like yourself to use that as one of your strategies, one of your lead gen sources. And we've got a couple different technology providers that we would recommend to partner with. Mainly it's Mojo. They're a dialer and a lead aggregator. They'll connect with different multiple listing services for sale by owner websites, and you can upload your own lists from the home valuation campaigns that we talked about, and then you can use their dialer to organize, create lists, and call these people at whatever time you might want that is a good time to call, usually in the morning or the evening. It also has some follow-up there and integration with your CRM and ways to send out mailers, messaging, etc. So Mojo, Mojo, is another great thing to look into. So that's probably most of the tactics in our listing marketing plan that we're developing, designing right now, and going to deploy over the next 7 to 10 days, guys. Would highly, highly recommend that you implement and take some of those ideas I just shared with you and implement them in your business. I think you're going to see really, really great results. These are cost-effective, high-impact, high-yield tactics to get in front of more homeowners, to get in front of more sellers, to get more appointments. And then we're going to talk and train in week 3 on how do you convert those, right? How are you converting those opportunities to actual listing clients? I saw Jason, you just said Mojo's a lot of bad numbers. Vulcan is better for numbers but pricier. Actually, I agree with that. So we had Vulcan before. Why we liked Mojo is it had a multi-line dialer, so you could be more efficient with your calls. And you didn't have to just use it for leads. So a lot of these, you can buy leads from another source, right? Like RedX is one, or Vulcan, and you can have them connect through API or through Zapier, a Zap, so they can feed the leads in every morning. You don't have to do it, by an upload in CSV file, but use the dialer. The Mojo dialer and lead management system, I think, is one of the best on the market. Just a little FYI, and we've gone through the 3 major ones: Vulcan, 7, RedX, and Mojo. So, but yeah, that's a good point that you bring up. So that's about it, guys. If you have any other questions, please don't forget, tomorrow we're kicking off the Sophisticated Agent group coaching and live Q&A. So I just sent an email around with all the information on how to log in. It's a Zoom video meeting. Please try to get there a few minutes early. It's 12 noon Eastern every other Friday. So Jason, for you, that's 9 a.m. Hopefully you can set aside a little bit of time on Fridays to do that. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. We're going to be covering tomorrow some of the early content in week 1, mainly on mindset, disciplines and habits and how important those are, and really setting the table here for the content and some of the other modules that are to come, which again, I sent a separate email, by the way, guys, for you that are on right now, talking a little bit about what to expect coming up. I want to thank you for your patience. We are ramping up here. We're going to be launching to a much better, robust, and I think more effective course management platform called Thinkific next week. So keep an eye out for an email there. We're releasing the rest of the videos in week 1 and then starting in week 2 shortly thereafter. So thank you for your patience. We got a lot of great content coming up, guys. We're going to start to speed that up too, because I know a lot of you expressed eagerness to be able to move forward a little bit more quickly in the program in the weeks, and we're committed to allowing you to do just that. But please be patient. Again, there's a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of resources too that you really need to work on a weekly basis, and implementing, customizing, and putting to work in your business to really see results. What I don't want to do is just unlock everything and have people whiz through everything in 3 or 4 weeks and not have done the action steps, which are critical to success, and then wonder why results haven't come and why nothing's changed. So please be patient and trusting in our process. I've been through every coaching program out there, literally almost every one under the sun, and I've really found this to be the best way, a slow, but we will be speeding it up, drip of content, calls, feedback loop, and implementation of tactics and steps like we're talking about today, and then the action items for each week. All right, awesome. Thank you guys for being on. Jason, Peter, I think are still here, and Christian. Thanks, guys. And I will see you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. Peter, that's 12 noon your time. 9 o'clock, I believe, Jason, for you out west in California, where it's arguably much better weather. I miss California sun. But I hope you guys are well, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, okay? Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Bye.